This video is going to be about all of the crazy things that have happened in the year 2020 so far. And man, there's a lot of things that I forgot. Or at least it feels like it was back in like 2019 or 2018, like years ago. So, I made a list. January 2nd, we were already off to a really bad start with Trump, I guess, initiating a US drone strike to kill Soleimani. And that freaked everybody out, and we were thinking that there was gonna be World War II. And I remember it was trending, talking about like getting drafted and everything. January 8th, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, so I guess, what's it called? What's his name? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle decided they didn't want to be royals anymore. Okay, January 16th, the trial for Trump's impeachment began. And honestly, I totally forgot about that. That seemed like it was back in 2019, but I totally forgot about that. Okay, January 22nd, 2020, China locked down Wuhan and it's 11 million people, which was the largest in history. Okay, so January 26th, Kobe Bryant and his daughter and some other people were killed in a helicopter crash, which was so sad. January 30th, the WHO, the World Health Organization, finally declared the coronavirus a public health emergency of international concern. Okay, January 31st, the UK formally and finally withdraws from the European Union. They had voted for that back in like 2016, I think, and wow, it finally happened. So February 1st, locusts in Somalia were a really big deal, and they declared a national emergency. It hadn't been that bad for 25 years. The US Senate votes to acquit Trump on February 5th. It's February 10th. So I didn't say this earlier, but back in the beginning of January, like January 2nd, January 3rd, Australia was having really bad wildfires, and so on February 10th, a whole bunch of rain helped to put most of them out, but that caused a lot of like flooding and like landslides or stuff like that, and it didn't put everything out, but over 1 billion animals died and 34 people ended up dying with this total death count. February 24th, Harvey Weinstein was found guilty, finally, which was a good thing. And I do remember there was a Iranian health official, that was back in February. I don't know his name, but he was making like a speech with a whole bunch of people, and he was standing on like the stage, and he was like next to another guy who was actually doing the speech, and he started sweating profusely, and people were joking that he probably has the coronavirus. Well, the next day he tested positive. I should link that news story in the description down below, because I thought that was kind of hilarious and ironic. Something that should be put in a movie if they made a movie about the coronavirus. Oh, by the way, if they make a movie about this coronavirus, would you go and watch it? Or would you be so traumatized that you never want to think or talk about the coronavirus again? Just tell me in the comments below. Okay, so March 3rd, Iran releases 54,000 people from prison. And back then, I thought that was crazy. Like, why would you do that? That's insane. But different states all around the United States have done that, and I guess that's normal now. Okay, so March 11th, the coronavirus was finally declared a pandemic, which was probably like at least a month too late. There's a lot of things that happened March 11th. March 11th as well ended the 11-year bull run in the stock market. And that was the beginning of the disaster, the economic disaster that we all know of now. Okay. And then also, March 11th, the NBA suspends their 2019-2020 season because Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert tests positive. And the funny thing about that is before he tested positive, he was like touching all of the reporters' mics and everything and joking around and like touching his teammates and everything. And then he tested positive. And then he had to apologize. I think that should be put in the movie too if they do make one of the coronavirus, which I'm still not sure if I'd actually watch. Okay. Okay, so then after that, like March 12th, the NHL announces pausing of their season. The 2020 NCAA basketball canceled for the first time. March Madness, or what am I? This is written weird, but basically they canceled March Madness for the first time they ever did since it began. So we're making history, definitely. Okay, March 11th, Trump declares a national emergency. March 20th, India puts 1 billion people under daytime curfew. Okay, so March 25th, Prince Charles tests positive. March 26th, US cases exceed all other countries. March 27th was the $2.2 trillion stimulus package, which was the largest in history. It was signed into law by Donald Trump. March 30th, they postponed the 2020 Summer Olympic Games to 2021. And that is like a first in history because they canceled the Olympic Games only a couple times throughout history, and I think it was like during the World Wars, but they never postponed it, so like this is like a first. So we're living through history again. So April 2nd, a record 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment. April 2nd, we reached the 1 million cases mark. April 5th, the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, was admitted into the hospital for COVID-19, and then he ended up going to the ICU. April 6th, Nadia, a tiger at the Bronx Zoo, tests positive. I know that other cats have tested positive, and they've actually not been feeling good, like house cats have tested positive. If you think about it, that's not really a good thing. Because even if we eradicate it all from all of the humans, there still might be a cat that might spread it to us again. Oh, April 7th was the end of the lockdown in Wuhan. So they're starting to get back to normal. April 12th was quarantined Easter. So April 14th, Trump freezes funding to the WHO. April 20th. The prices of oil turns negative for the first time in history at negative $37.63 a barrel. It's so annoying because now that the gas prices are actually affordable, we can't go anywhere. Okay, April 28th, the U.S. Department of Defense releases 3 declassified videos of possible UFOs from a few years ago. So I guess April 28th was the last time I was doing research on this. Now there are murder hornets on the loose in the United States, which everybody's kind of freaking out about that. So these were just dates that were really interesting and crazy to me. Other things that have affected our daily lives, like having to make and wear homemade masks because we didn't have enough for, we didn't plan, we didn't have a good stockpile, and we relied too much on China. I don't know, that is just so crazy. I don't remember this happening for the swine flu. Okay, and then, animals taking over cities. The climate, or just the smog and everything, is the best it's ever been in many, many years. Like the earth is getting a break and getting a rest from us, which is nice in one way, but then it's not good for the economy. The farmers are having to dump milk and euthanize chickens, and I don't know, euthanize cows too. Bury the vegetables over again, and just waste so much food because there's not enough, like the restaurants aren't open, and like hotels and everything that like, you know, serve food, they're not open and they're not using it. There started to be a rationing of meat. Like Wendy's doesn't have burgers. They're not serving burgers right now, and they're a burger joint. And like Costco and all of these, like Walmart and stuff, they're rationing meat. Like you're not allowed to get too many things of meat. Like that's crazy. And then Trump had to like force the, I don't know, that meat factory company, whatever you call it, I didn't write it down, I don't remember what it's called, to stay open so that people have food, because yeah, this is like affecting the economy. The economy isn't just rich people like investing in things and getting rich off the stock market and everything. The economy is just like everyday people making transactions on a day-to-day basis, and like getting money to pay your bills and everything, and getting money to buy food. And if you stop the economy, you're gonna stop us from being able to like get food. There's gonna be a food shortage. So that's like, I don't know, that's a serious thing. So I mean, I feel like we should reopen the economy, but make sure that people are like, you know, wearing masks and still practicing social distancing, because I know people can't afford to be in lockdown for so long. This is sort of like a video diary of what's going on. So in case my kids or my sister's kids ever ask about what happened during this coronavirus, yep, this is what happened. And thank you so much for watching to the end. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I will definitely be posting more videos. Thank you very much.